time for the politicians to stand up to the scientists and say that unless and until you can answer the questions raised in the peer-reviewed literature by those who are doing their science by measurement and coming to the conclusion that CO2 has very small impact, then we are not going to fund you, and we are not going to take these lavish steps to waste money on this apparent non-problem. And particularly because there is an opportunity cost in wasting money in wrong directions. And that has already been observed because the dash for biofuels, just to take one example, took so many millions of acres of agricultural land out of producing food for people that needed it and into producing biofuels for clunkers that didn't. That world food prices doubled in just a couple of years ago. Now for us that means a burger goes up from $1 to $2. It's inconvenient, but it's not fatal. But if you're living on $1 a day, you starve. And in Haiti, they're living, even before this dreadful earthquake, they're living on mud pies made with real mud, because the self-indulgence of politicians in the West and the careless, ignorant, mean-spirited refusal to consider the consequences of their policy for people who happened to be black and had no vote and had no voice and had no economic strength and lived in countries far away of which we know little. This unwillingness to bear in mind the collateral damage caused by hastily conceived policies has already killed millions by starvation. And I will quote to you Herr Ziegler, the UN's Right to Food rapporteur, who said this just a couple of years ago. He said, when millions are dying of starvation, the diversion of agricultural land from food to biofuels is, and these are his words, a crime against humanity. And therefore we would want to allocate a substantial proportion of the money that will be saved by no longer playing the Christmas game of global warming to address the real environmental problems of the world and the real problems of poverty that exist. Let us leave the realm of Fantasyland and start facing the problems of the world as it is today. That is what is the urgent and pressing need, so that we can end the starvation, misery, disease, and death that so many of our fellow creatures still have to suffer. That should be the priority of the international community, along with preserving the rainforest, preventing overfishing, preventing the encroachment of humankind on the vulnerable habitats of our rarest and most threatened creatures. Those are real environmental problems, for it is no part of UKIP's policy to say there is no such thing as an environmental problem. There are many. They are real. And while we divert resources and thought and time and energy away from the real problems and towards this fantasy, this chimera, this will-o'-the-wisp of global warming, then people will die and die in their millions, creatures will die, forests will die. And we don't want that. So we want the world to grow up, come out of this bizarre intellectual aberration, surely the strangest of modern times, and once again face reality as it is, here and now, and help here and now those of our fellow creatures who are so much